Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Back the Log Off. I'm Professor Icepick, and tonight I will be going to Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth's Prosecutor's Path, or just Ace Attorney Investigations 2 for short. So yeah, last time I managed to recover from that screw-up I made the last time. Let's see if we can see some all-new content tonight, huh? Okay. December 24th, 7:30 p.m. Contest venue, Delicia's room. Wow, a candy castle! And there are some fairies over there. There are even some fairies over there.
This room seems to be structured in the same way as Master's room.
But it's nowhere near as cold.
This room also seems to have been fitted with a temperature control panel.
Ah, it's over there by that orange lamp, ain't right? Ah, it's over there by that orange lamp, right? Okay, that was... I'll just say it correctly one more time. Ah, it's over there by that orange lamp, right? Indeed. Let's not forget to investigate it later. Even so, this room is like something out of a fairy tale. Is this cream-covered castle Delicia's work?
Where is Delicia?
Delicia. Hi, can I help you? Hello, boys. I'm Delicia Scones. In my native England, I'm known as Ms. Delicia. Okay, why am I... Okay. In my native England, I'm known as Ms. Delicious. Being called a boy even though I'm already 34. It's certainly a rare experience. Oh no, I'm as old as Gregory Edgeworth in this. That's sobering. That's really sobering, honestly. God. Okay. But boys, I understand you calling me that, but Mr. Edgeworth? As far as I'm concerned, you're all boys to me. Even that detective over there.
My name is Bad, not Boy.
Just how old is this woman?
Mr. Attorney, let's just finish our business here.
Right.
What do you think you're doing concerning... what do you think you're doing? Conversing with a mere attorney?
Mr. Edgeworth, a scary man came out of the candy castle.
Von Karma.
Eh? This man is Prosecutor Von Karma? Wait, they gave him Edgeworth's theme? Interesting. Heap many. So he's Von Karma. Pleased to meet you, Prosecutor Von Karma. My name is Gregory Edgeworth, defense attorney.
Bah, I have no interest in the names of defense attorney. I have no need. After all, they only exist to be crushed by me.
What a rude man. That piercing gaze and furrowed brow. Ugh, he's even scarier than the rumors say. Although that statement was also very rude. Prosecutor Von Karma, would you allow us to investigate too?
You think I would give information to a mere defense attorney?
As I thought, it won't be that simple.
However, I'll make a special exception for this room.
Why did he change his mind so quickly?
You, old bloodhound. Don't call me that. My name is Bad. Ha! A mere detective speaking back to me. I admire your courage, at least. Bed. Stand watch so and see to it. Bed. Stand watch and see to it that they don't misbehave. Why, me? I will not accept your refusal. Well then, I'll be investigating Gustavia's room next. I'm babysitting again.
I wonder why he and Von Karma aren't investigating together. Instead of being on bad terms, it seems like they hardly know each other.
Mr. Edgeworth, now that we've got Von Karma's permission, we can continue investigating.
Yes, his manners both... Yes, his manner bothers me, but I am... Okay, this is a bad sentence. Yes, his manner bothers me, but I am glad we can at least continue the investigation.
Hold it. I also need to investigate this room. I don't want you disturbing the room, so you'll investigate after me.
What? Aren't you the detective in charge of this case? Why haven't you investigated this room yet?
The detective in charge of the initial investigation was a close colleague of Von Karma. I came to take over for him, so I only got to this mansion just recently.
So that's why he and Von Karma aren't investigating together. Detective Bad, will you allow us to investigate with you like before? In doing so, you'll be able to supervise us and also ensure we don't tamper with anything.
You want me to watch you? You're a strange lawyer. I'll let you stick around a little longer.
Yay! You did it, Mr. Edgeworth!
Thank you, Detective Bad.
But if I decide you're holding up the investigation, you'll have to leave.
Yes, I understand. Well then, let's begin the investigation.
Begin the investigation!
Contest venue, Delicia's room. Okay, let's just save here. No, we won't save here for now. I think we're safe for the time being. It's a cute candy fairy sitting on a tree stump. The cream decorations are melting. The fairy seems to be well made, but something feels slightly off. There's a cover on the wall, just like in Mr. Master's room.
Let's open it up.
The room temperature is 68 Fahrenheit. 68 degrees. The room temperature is 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and the lights are set to green.
Gustavia said that 50 degrees Fahrenheit is the ideal temperature for fresh cream. This room's temperature is too high.
This is intriguing. There's a burner and some chemicals over here. They were probably used to make desserts. What are these chemicals? The writing on the labels say number 1, Punch-Out, and number 9, Sufferin.
Are they poisons?
No, they're both used to make desserts. Seems to be artificial flavoring and coloring. Punch-Out is a catchy name for a fruit punch essence.
Very misleading.
What bothers me is what Sufferin stands for. Oh, it's obviously succotash, right? I can't believe this amazing castle is made entirely out of confectionery.
I know! What a work of fantasy! It's like a fairy tale world.
You like all this fairy tale stuff? You like all this fairy tale stuff, don't you?
Sorry. I got a little... sorry. I got a bit too excited, didn't I?
No, it's interesting to me since you're so enthusiastic about it, unlike my son.
Your son?
He's only in grade school, yet he prefers to read law books instead of fairy tales. I'm worried that he won't be able to make any friends that he can talk to.
Heh, what an interesting kid. I'd like to be his friend.
Haha, I think you'd be more of an older brother to him.
Heh, an older brother, huh? Well, I've got some growing up to do then.
Yes, and that's why we have to continue with the investigation. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. The hell are those? The castle doors are open.
When someone opens a door, they really should remember to close it afterwards.
Would he say that directly to Prosecutor Von Karma, though?
Huh? Looks like there's some stuff inside. Let's see.
Wait, I'll examine it. Stay out of the way. This fresh cream melts too easily.
Seems like Detective Bad's shoes got covered in cream. Why were these objects kept inside the Candy Castle?
If there's anything you want to investigate, you better speak up now. 2 big rocks are placed here. It's like a storage room.
Yeah, the inside of the Candy Castle isn't so dreamy. Hey, maybe they're raw gemstones. Who knew that there were such treasures hidden within the castle?
Seems like a rather careless way to handle treasure. It looks like there's something underneath the rocks.
Seems like there's a pedestal attached to both of the rocks.
Of course! There we go. I've been trying to get rid of that all night.
Of course! It's a pedestal for displaying the gems.
Well, in any case, this is no ordinary object. This pillar has a hexagonal recess.
It looks like a pedestal, but it has nothing in it.
A hexagonal recess, huh? A hexagonal recess, huh? I wonder what would have been put in there.
Gee, I can figure that one out.
A giant strawberry would fit with the fresh cream.
Detective Bad, I don't think strawberries are hexagonal.
I was just hoping.
Then I hope it's a banana.
I think I'd prefer blueberries.
There are rolls of blue cloth here. Looks like there's 4 of them in all.
They certainly don't look like desserts.
Yeah, I don't know what the cloth is for. It almost seems like it was hidden here inside the castle.
Also, the color of this cloth looks familiar somehow. Well, let's do a little bit of logicking. I mean, that's obvious, right? The reason the fresh cream is so fragile is due to the temperature in this room.
So my shoes got creamed because the room temperature is set at 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
Speaking of which, when you opened the castle door, the doorknob didn't break.
Yeah, it was stronger than I thought.
Strong? A dessert? Detective Bad, could you have a closer look at that doorknob?
This is...
It would seem this doorknob isn't a dessert.
And it's not just a doorknob. The castle and the fairies are just plastic molds coated in fresh cream.
Then this isn't a dessert. Then this isn't a dessert piece at all.
It would seem they're just fake desserts covered in fresh cream. The rock's pedestal has a similar shape to the recesses on the castle's pillars. Perhaps the rock is meant to be placed on top of the pillars?
Oh, that's right. They're both hexagonal.
I wonder why they were hidden inside the castle, though. The blue cloth and the rocks inside the castle. I wonder if they belong to Delicia. Delicia? Those things in the castle, what are they used for? Those? I'm afraid I can't tell you.
Looks like Von Karma is keeping her silent.
Heep! I've been found... Oh, God. I've been found out. He'll get mad at me if I talk. Prosecutor Von Karma doesn't intend on being upfront with his information.
Aw, it's such a shame. We finally figured out where the rocks are supposed to go.
Could it be that you're interested in my goods?
Your goods?
Those are my popular relaxation goods.
You mean the rocks and the cloth?
Yes, see, that's right. You see, they're not actually rocks, but special lamps made from rock salt.
Wow, so those are lamps.
It gets even more exciting. Because this cloth also has an amazing secret.
As soon as we showed interest in her goods, she became quite talkative.
Since we've got them out, come experience the therapy, boys. Batty, could you put everything up?
It's not Batty, it's bad.
So you won't do it? Is Batty being a bad boy?
Labby, are you done photographing this room?
Yes, sir, I am.
Then go help Delicia.
Yes, sir, I'm on it. Ha ha ha, thanks. I knew you were a good boy underneath, Batty.
Miss Delicious? That was amazing. You even persuaded Detective Bad.
Thanks a lot, Batty. And you too, Forensies.
She even gave the forensics a nickname. I think that's her way of showing she cares.
What's so therapeutic about these things anyway?
We don't have time for that now, Batty. The show's about to begin. Forensies, finishing touches, please.
Yes, ma'am. Wow, it's so beautiful. It really is. I wish my son could see this.
Oi, I told you so, right? The four fairies and the curious candy castle was the theme of my work. It's so sparkly and cute, right?
It seems like one of them is missing something.
The truth is, I'd planned to unveil it during the contest. Well, I'm glad I got to show it to you boys.
Huh? But it doesn't look like the rock salt lamps are lighting up.
Huh? I wonder why.
I think I'll need to examine the rocks and the fairies again. Unlike the other fairies, this one doesn't have a fluorescent cloth. It's delicious. It's not right to leave one out.
I don't like it either, but one fluorescent cloth and a machine has gone missing.
You've lost a cloth and a machine? What sort of machine is it?
Oi, let me tell you. Each piece of fluorescent cloth is hooked up to one of these machines. The machine is called a rainbow light device. Light is sent through the cable and into the cloth, which is made of fiber optic. Light is sent through the cable and into the cloth, which is made of optic fibers. Just fiddle around with the settings a bit, and it'll... Just fiddle around with the settings a bit, and it will turn into all sorts of colors. When it glows red, it's like a raging inferno. When it glows blue, you can almost feel the glittering cool ice. It's powered by a long-lasting battery that's resistant to the changes in temperature.
Oh God, I've made her Australian.
I'm not very familiar with these kinds of devices. Mr. Edgeworth, she's saying it's a machine that transmits light to the special cloth. I see. It's amazing what they can come up with I see. It's amazing what they come up with these days.
So, one rainbow light device and one fluorescent cloth are missing. So, one rainbow light device and one fluorescent cloth are missing?
Yes, see, that's right. Wherever could they...
Got it.
Wherever could they be?
This fluorescent cloth, could it be related to the case?
Fluorescent cloth added to the
court record. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
Is that blood?
The castle door is adorned with a beautiful cloth. I think this was the cloth that was in the castle.
Entranceways are always beautiful. That's what a detective thinks.
Yes, after Detective Bad Shoes have trampled all over it. But this is no time for snide remarks. It looks like both the lamps and the pillars are broken.
Both of their light bulbs are broken.
Maybe they were dropped on the floor. There's some sort of red stain on this lamp's surface.
This stain, could it be?
That smell. There's no mistaking it. It's a blood stain.
That's a blood stain.
Why is there a blood stain on this lamp? I wonder if this has something to do with the lamp bulb being broken. I should also take a look at the other lamp here. So this is where Delicia originally intended to put the lamps.
I don't get why she put them in the castle.
Since they're broken and don't light up, maybe she decided to put them out of the way.
She wanted them out of the way. There are many other places to store them.
It's like that old saying, hide the salt in the sugar bag.
I think the saying goes, hide a tree in the forest. If Delicia intended to use these lamps as decorations during the contest, it creates a contradiction with that piece of evidence. I need to deduce the contradiction at the scene. Let's see if I have any more logic. Let's see. Ah. There is evidence that the victim was beaten to death with a blunt object. What's more, there's a blood stain on one of the broken rock salt lamps. Could this lamp have been the murder weapon?
You're right. It could have been used as a weapon.
Labby, is the blood analysis on this rock salt lamp finished?
Yes, sir. It finished just a few moments ago. The blood stain on that lamp belonged to the victim.
You heard what he said.
Rock salt lamp added to the court record. The murder weapon was hidden in Delicia's room. We need to consider her as one of the suspects as well. Huh. Okay, I don't have anything else. Is that a ladder?
What is it, Mr. Attorney? Something about that ladder bothering you?
Detective Bad. It's actually a step ladder.
They're both the same to me.
They're completely different. Look at their basic nature.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth. You tell him.
Okay, step ladder. Huh?
Ms. Delicious, you don't seem as energetic as you were earlier.
Delicia, can I just ask, did something happen with Von Karma? Yesy, nothing of the sort.
But you just said yesy.
That yesy just now was only a greeting. You're a cute boy. I like you. What's your first name?
It's Raymond, but...
Well, Ray Ray, I think you'll make a good man of yourself someday.
Ray?
How about that? I think you have a way with British ladies.
She's a little different from my image of a lady.
Why don't we listen to what she has to say? Could you tell me about your actions during the contest? Yesy. We began making desserts for the contest around 10 o'clock. Basically, I was here making my desserts the whole time. At 1:30, I joined the afternoon tea for about an hour or so.
Afternoon tea?
It's a social occasion where conversation is had over black tea and cakes.
So it's pretty much a tea party.
Well, I suppose. Ha 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 ha. Oh, Greggy, you're such a Ha 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 ha. Oh, Greggy, you're a smart boy, aren't you? When did I become Greggy? Let's see, how old is she? Unknown. Okay. Manfred von Karma, age 40. He's been prosecuting since he was 24 and never a loss. Where was the afternoon tea held? It took place in the gardens outside of the farm.
It took place in the gardens, outside of the fountain patio. It's our customary break time during the contest. It's always held at the same time. Today there were just 3 of us who took part. Jeffy, Katie, and me. Since Jeffy had already finished his creations, he was there from beginning to end. Icy and Goose didn't join in because they hadn't finished their desserts yet.
So, everyone other than Mr. Dover and Mr. Gustavia participated.
Yes. Actually, I hadn't finished my dessert yet either. I just wanted to try some of Jeffy's handmade pastries and Katie's fresh brewed tea. So, after I had eaten my fill, I returned before everyone else.
During the contest, did you enter any of the other contestants' rooms?
Eh? What are you saying?
We found your fingerprints on the desserts at the crime scene.
Eep! You found them?
Are you admitting that you went to the scene of the murder?
I admit it. But I'm not the murderer. That's the honest truth. Please hear me out.
The honest truth. What were you doing in Mr. Master's room?
The truth is, I was studying his desserts.
Studying?
Because Jeffy's so talented at making sweets. Well, nobody was in his room at the time, so I just decided to study his works a bit.
But if you were just looking, you wouldn't have left your fingerprints behind.
Yesy, it's natural that I left fingerprints on the desserts. For the sake of research, I ate some of his desserts.
Isn't that like stealing food? It couldn't be. The one who wrecked Mr. Master's room was...
I'm sorry, it wasn't my intention to vandalize the room, but I did eat a few parts of the desserts in his room. I secretly ate little bits and pieces so Jeffy wouldn't find out.
So, did you eat the ship stand as well?
Yesy, I did.
The chocolate ship broke because of you.
Eep! I'm sorry.
So, the reason she left the afternoon tea early was to preserve her appetite.
But you've got to believe me on this. I'm not the murderer.
Her actions are sufficiently suspicious, but I won't press on it yet.
Well, I think we've got some logic to solve now. Oh, wrong answer.
It seems these 2 pieces of information aren't connected. It seems I was a bit too hasty in jumping to conclusions.
Okay, fair enough then. Alright, well, let's...
It says, the 4 fairies and the curious candy castle. It seems that this was the theme for Delicia's works.
But it's not just the candy castle that I'm curious about.
Why do all these rooms have, like, pouring water in them anyway? Don't turn around! Don't turn around! If you do, you're only gonna eat that castle.
This forensics officer seems to be on a diet.
Alright, well, I guess we can try deducing. Let's see, I might be wrong about that.
Detective Bad, look at this! Don't you think it's strange?
I think what's strange is your deduction.
Erg!
If your brain isn't working right, that's due to the lack of sugar. I'll sell you one of my lollipops for $2.
That sounds a tad high. Is there no evidence of a contradiction with the castle decorations?
Let's see, what else could we possibly be missing?
This dessert made my shoes all dirty. If you come any closer, your shoes will be covered in cream too.
We've already seen what's behind the door. There's no need to look again.
Let's see, did that do anything?
Detective Bad, look at this.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, wrong again. Maybe I still need to find some more evidence?
Here are all the tools used to make desserts.
Everything from a bucket of fresh cream to a brush and a trowel. Looks more like a construction worker's tools.
Hey now, boys. Don't underestimate the work of a pastry chef. It's completely different from construction work where they cover the walls with cement. We use the trowel to smear the cream and the brush to clean any uneven parts.
How is that different from construction work?
The room temperature. Okay, so.
It's a cute candy fairy sitting on a tree stump. The cloth in the back along the decorations really give it a magical atmosphere. When you look at it, it almost feels like you're spellbound.
What we need to look for is the hidden truths of the real world. Don't be fooled by the fairies.
Okay, that again.
One rainbow light device and one fluorescent cloth have gone missing. Could there be some connection to the case?
Oh, okay, so.
The sickly sweet smell of cream. Yes, this truly is a fairy tale world. And yet here in this sugary sweet room, there's one with such a sour face. He doesn't belong in this room. That scary old man.
Raymond, mind what you say. You're being a bit rude.
Sorry, it won't happen again. It reminded me of my old grade school. It reminded me of my old grade school teacher who used to get mad at me a lot.
A school teacher? I definitely don't want to think of my son being taught by such a man.
What? This room has the same design as Master's room.
Is something bothering you?
While Karma was investigating inside the Candy Castle. I wonder why.
Detective Bad, do you suspect Delicia?
That woman is hiding something. My detective spirit is telling me so.
Is that his detective's intuition? Something about this room definitely troubles me as well. I should listen to what Delicia has to say.
Oi, that thing you've got there is rather cute, Greggy. But the color's rather unappealing. Now, if I were to coat it with fresh cream... So, stop it! Oi, that... Okay, well, alright. So, let's see. Oi! Looks like this caught your eye. The way this cloth works, I wonder if it's okay for me to tell you about it. I'm sorry, I can't talk about this cloth. What? That was strange. I wonder if Von Karma told her to stay quiet about it. Alright, let's see. With that piece of evidence, huh? Now, what piece of evidence? Oh. Could this be it? Detective Bad! Okay, alright, I guess I was wrong. That piece of evidence. I need to deduce the contradiction at the scene. Okay, so I need to deduce a contradiction. Then what is the contradiction, then? Oh, wait. Everything needs to be made out of dessert. Okay, that's right. The contest rules. That's it. Detective Bad, please read the contest leaflet.
Any decorations not made from desserts are prohibited. Huh.
These rock salt lamps and the fluorescent cloths go against the rules.
So maybe that's why they were hidden in the castle.
I wonder about that. I think we should investigate further into Delicia's actions. Okay, let's see. I may have some actual, using decorations that were against the rules and making fake desserts. A lot of Delicia's actions seem suspicious.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like she's aiming to be the world's greatest pastry chef.
Also, the temperature of this room is way too high. Is there a reason for that?
Fake desserts added to the court record. I wonder. I think we should ask Delicia directly. Well, I feel like an idiot for taking so long. The room temperature. Delicia, why is the room temperature set to 68 degrees Fahrenheit?
The cold doesn't agree with me. Plus, it's bad for the body. And this figure doesn't just maintain itself, you know. Naturally, as a lady, I want to look young forever. I wonder how old Miss Delicious really is.
Raymond, a true gentleman never asks a woman her age.
This room is mainly filled with cream. And 50 degrees Fahrenheit is the recommended temperature for preserving fresh cream.
What? Really? Well, now it's all gone to waste. It looks like Ms. Delicious didn't know.
Okay, we have...
I thought she was supposed to be a first-class pastry chef.
The fake desserts and the rule violations. And now, her lack of basic knowledge. Looks like she keeps many secrets.
Well, I think we have logic.
Delicia's knowledge in the art of dessert making is lacking in fundamental areas. And she claims she went into Mr. Master's room in order to study his desserts. These actions and ideas are not fitting of someone aiming to be the world's greatest pastry chef.
Yeah, they don't sound like the words of a pro. It's like she doesn't even realize it, or...
Or maybe she isn't a real pastry chef. Perhaps she had some other intention. It's possible that she didn't go into the room to study desserts.
So then, are you saying Ms. Delicious is the criminal?
We can't say that for sure yet, but I know she's hiding something from us.
Hooray! All my health's back.
Investigation complete. That's enough investigating.
We found much more than I expected. And yet, something from before still bothers me. Prosecutor Von Karma must have found the murder weapon in this room. So then, why did he let Delicia be? Firstly, I must ascertain Von Karma's true motives. Detective Bad, I would like to ask Professor... Detective Bad, I would like to ask Prosecutor Von Karma something.
I've also got business with him. And Alicia there too.
Yep. What's the idea, Batty? Don't glare at me like that.
It seems Detective Bad also has his doubts about Delicia and Von Karma. Delicia, will you come with us for a moment?
Yesy, that's fine. What for?
We have to find Von Karma. There are some things we need to talk about.
Contest December 24th, 8:05 p.m. Contest venue, Fountain Patio.
Prosecutor Von Karma, we need to talk about the case.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. From the look on your face, I assume you found the murder weapon?
Yes, we discovered the murder weapon in Delicia's room. It would seem Mr. Master isn't the only suspect in this case.
Bah, that's not true. Where the murder weapon was found does not change the fact that Master is the culprit. As long as I am here.
Why is Von Karma so sure of himself? Well then, aren't you going to explain why the murder weapon was in Delicia's room?
Naturally. If you wish to know, I'll tell you.
Oh no, it's court time.
About the murder weapon. In order to pin the crime on Delicia, Master used the rock salt lamp to kill the victim. He then deposited the murder weapon in Delicia's room. If he had left the murder weapon at the crime scene, Master would have been the one suspected. He couldn't move the body, but it was easy to move the murder weapon. Ergo, there would be no evidence pointing to a specific culprit at the crime scene.
Mr. Master took the rock salt lamp?
Precisely. I carried out the investigation myself. There can be no room for doubt.
Do you have evidence that he moved it?
That will not be necessary.
What?
Tisk, tisk, tisk. If you have an objection, say it. Do you think a mere defense attorney can break my logic?
About the rebuttal. I think I know exactly where I need to do. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I think... Oh, I was right! Hooray!
It's true that the murder weapon and bloodstains disappeared from the vicinity. However, there was still one piece of incriminating evidence left behind. Have a look at this photograph, which was taken when the body was first discovered. This cloth was used to wrap the body. Doesn't it remind you of the fluorescent cloth from Delicia's room?
Yep. My fluorescent cloth was at the crime scene.
Huh, fluorescent cloth? You, just what part of this cloth is fluorescent?
I guess Von Karma doesn't know about this cloth's secret. It looks like a normal cloth at first glance, but if you use this rainbow light device, you can make it glow. Prosecutor Von Karma seems a little surprised. I don't think it was the cloth's ability to glow that surprised him. One sheet of this fluorescent cloth is currently unaccounted for. Now, I'd like you to look at the color of the cloth in this photo. Don't you think it looks like the color of the fluorescent cloth that's before it's been lit up? Both the rock salt lamp and the fluorescent cloth originally belonged to Delicia. Wouldn't it be natural to assume that this cloth was used to wrap the body? Prosecutor Von Karma, I believe the present conditions give us much reason to suspect Delicia.
Yep. Oh, God. Whoop. Hold it, Greggy. Do you really suspect me?
I don't yet know if you are the culprit, but it is true that you're hiding something, am I right?
That's...
Objection. So, you're saying that the murder weapon and the cloth were originally from Delicia's room?
Yes.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
What's so funny?
Just as I expected from you. The murder weapon and the cloth are not from her room. How unfortunate for you.
What does he mean?
Before the contest began, Master noticed her violation of the rules. He confiscated the cloth and the rock salt lamp and kept them in his room for safekeeping.
What?
The victim was not seen as he stayed locked up in his room after the contest had begun. The only one who could have unlocked the locked rooms was just Master. And the murder weapon, the rock salt lamp, was being kept in Master's room. This should be the decisive evidence in proving Master's guilt. Defense attorney. You've lost to me before you even had a chance to stand in court.
What's this?
What? Was all our investigating for nothing? Ms. Delicious, why didn't you tell us about your confiscated items?
Well, Manny said I'd look suspicious if I did.
Prosecutor Von Karma?
And it's true. You all suspect me, don't you?
Tisk, tisk, tisk. How clumsy of you, defense attorney.
Von Karma. So that's why he let us investigate Delicia's room.
And in your clumsiness, there's one more thing I need to inform you of. 2 sets of fingerprints were found on the murder weapon.
2?
Yes, they belong to Jeff Master and Delicia Scones. No other fingerprints were found. After Master killed Dour with the confiscated rock lamp, he foolishly concealed the murder weapon bearing his own fingerprints in its owner's room. Tisk, tisk. I don't even need to prove my case in court. I have more than enough perfect evidence to prove Master's guilt.
Hold it! I still have some doubts about the fluorescent cloth found in Mr. Master's room.
Bah! Irrelevant. After disposing of the body, he intended to return it to Delicia's room.
I don't have enough information to refute Von Karma's reasoning.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Nothing left to say? If your job is done, leave this place.
That's... I can't give up yet.
We've wasted enough time as it is. Bad, take them away. Hold it. There are still some doubts left in our investigation.
Detective Bad!
What's the meaning of this? It's not my nature to leave any doubts behind. There's still one piece of evidence that is yet to be identified.
Huh? That's right. There are still the traces of someone left behind.
Bah! Talk about your doubts as much as you want later. But this, my dear attorney, is none of your business.
No, I also have some doubts about one piece of evidence. It's likely that I have the same doubts Detective Bad has.
What?
This is the piece of evidence left in Mr. Masters' room that is yet to be identified. Somebody left glove finger marks on one of Mr. Masters' desserts. If these were the killer's finger marks, then it's possible that the killer also didn't leave any fingerprints on the murder weapon.
How did you know the state of the crime scene? I gave them permission to investigate. Bad! What possessed you to let a defense attorney into the crime scene? I don't recall you telling me not to let them in. Bah! Such impudence! You'd best remember, Bad. Your salary review depends on me.
This isn't good for Bad. I'm so glad I have a kind boss like Mr. Edgeworth.
Your salary review depends on how you perform here.
Humph. I'm surprised at what a mere attorney like you managed to uncover in such a short time. However, it's possible those finger marks were Master's own doing, because he always wore gloves while cooking.
You have evidence that those finger marks were left by Master? And moreover, there are still a few points of suspicion surrounding Delicia.
Oh? You still haven't given up on that?
Greggy, you still suspect me? I've already apologized for stealing a few bites.
I don't want to suspect you. However, I can't easily trust those who tell lies. You must still be hiding something.
Greggy is a bully.
Don't you know the temperature of fresh cream must be kept at? You call yourself a dessert chef, but you lack even the most basic knowledge.
I'm sorry for my lack of knowledge.
In your case, it's not even about the lack of knowledge. In truth, you don't even know how to make desserts, do you?
Defense attorney, stop trying to force your own reasoning. In a court of law, the evidence tells all. If you say the witness is lying, show it with evidence.
We're not in court yet, but very well. This evidence shows that Delicia can't make desserts. The only things Delicia made were those that broke the rules.
The lamp and cloth that broke the rules were being held in Master's room. There is no way the witness could have returned them to her room.
Those were not the only fake desserts she made.
What?
Her desserts may look like something out of a fairy tale at first glance. But in reality, they are nothing but mannequins decorated with cream. Apart from the cream, they're all fake.
Ugh.
This is not something one aiming to become the world's greatest pastry chef would do.
Is this true, Bad? Yes, my shoes can attest to that.
Will that be enough to convince Prosecutor Von Karma?
Once he sees what Delicia has done, he'll have no choice but to be convinced. Delicia, the fact that your actions could lead to you being a suspect is no laughing matter.
I didn't murder.
Isn't it time you told us the whole truth? Who are you, and why are you indulging yourself in another contestant's work?
Yessie, I understand. The truth is, I'm not really a dessert chef, like I led you to believe. I'm actually a pharmacist.
What? A pharmacist?
That's a completely different occupation. It's no wonder he couldn't hide a surprise. Why is a pharmacist like you participating in this contest?
I just love eating desserts. I joined because I thought I'd be able to eat some of Jeffy's desserts. I never thought I'd end up making it to the finals.
Why is Von Karma so pissed off about this? Ugh.
Even Prosecutor Von Karma is at a loss for words.
So that's the real reason you entered the contest?
Yessie. As expected, Jeffy's desserts were oh so good.
So, the gloved finger marks on the picture frame were your doing?
Heap,
No way. I never wore gloves.
Delicia's fingerprints were found on Mr. Master's chocolates. So it is true that she wasn't wearing gloves.
Yesy, exactly. You do believe me, Greggy.
Is your face stuffed with nothing but desserts?
Yep. Sorry, Manny.
I think it's her belly that's stuffed. Were Master's desserts all that you ate?
Actually, no. After the afternoon tea, I also ate Icy's desserts.
You mean you entered the victim's room?
Yesy, exactly. The room was empty after all.
Perhaps the victim was already dead by then.
But my first bite tasted way too salty and I couldn't eat it. So I ate the delicious star-shaped dessert that was nearby.
Ms. Delicious, you really are a glutton.
It is rare that you see a woman with this kind of appetite.
That's all I did. Greggy, Manny, everyone. I'm sorry I caused you trouble.
Now that you've told us the truth, everything's fine. There's no need to apologize.
This does not mean that your testimony is trustworthy. I'll be investigating the victim's room after this. Only then will I decide if your testimony is true.
Prosecutor Von Karma, I'd like to go as well. I also need to ascertain whether my reasoning up until now has been correct.
I'll let you follow, but I have no intention of letting you investigate.
That's enough for me.
Wouldn't that be that's good enough for me? December 24th, 9 o'clock p.m. Contest venue, Dover's room.
This. What is the meaning of this?
Whoa.
The desserts adorning the victim's room had disappeared without a trace. Was this the true killer's doing? A body that was hidden inside a dessert and a murder weapon that was moved. Further investigation would be required to arrive at the truth of this case.
And we made it to a chickadee checkpoint. Wow, and actually very quick. It has not even been an hour yet, guys. Am I actually going to be able to get through 3 tonight? Or 3 this time? Let's find out. Oh, hey. Oh, I should have switched back to the older man voice. April 2nd, 10:15 a.m. Zodiac Art Gallery, Fountain Patio.
Oops, I guess I went on for a little too long there.
Something like that happened. I had no idea. None of the case files I read went into such detail.
Well, I doubt there would be anything in there that would be inconvenient to the prosecution, especially with that Von Karma at the head.
How did the investigation go from there?
The desserts had disappeared from the victim's room, so the investigation hit a rough patch. Thanks to that, it took about a whole year before a verdict was handed down.
1 whole year?
This was before the whole 3-day pretrial system was established. Trials didn't need to finish in the short amount of time that they do now.
I see. Did they ever find out why the victim's dessert disappeared?
Well, kinda. His dessert was like a candy ice sculpture made from sherbet. Since it was made from ice, the general consensus was that it had melted. However, that might not quite be the case.
What do you mean?
This museum used to be Mr. Master's mansion.
The stage of the IS-7 incident?
And in this very place, there's exhibiting the sherbet salon from 18 years ago.
The victim's dessert?
Yep. Though it could just be a replica of the original. That's why Uncle Ray had to come today, to check it out. And for your old man, too. Now then, let's get a move on and check out the room. I'm pretty sure it's over in the Winter Palace.
He's just walking around with his hands in his pockets.
The Winter Palace should be... Huh? It's locked up. That's odd. They've already opened the museum.
Mr. Shields, according to the pamphlet we received at the entrance, the Winter Palace is over here.
Really? I could have sworn it was this one. Alright, let's scoot. We gotta confirm the truth of what happened 18 years ago.
so many fucking cameos! April 2nd, 10:20 a.m. Zodiac Art Gallery, Winter Palace. It's a Mask to Mask.
Man, it's still as cold as ever. Uncle Ray's gonna freeze solid.
It seems the Winter Palace lives up to its name. It's like a freezer in here. With the light dimmed like this, it's almost as if the room itself is made of ice.
I think the control panel for the room temperature is on the back wall. Miles, why don't you check what temperature it's set at for me? Uncle Ray's gonna give the curator a piece of his mind later. It's way too cold in here.
Very well.
But if you want to look around in the room a bit, feel free to stay, or freeze to your heart's content. I'll get the camera ready. I want to take some pictures of this place and show it to your old man.
Understood.
Well, how about this? I'll yell out, Mask to Mask is here. Yes, it's me! I'm Mask to Mask. Good, good. Wait, Ronnie, if you say that, you'll get arrested. Come on, if we don't plan properly, we won't be able to sell it.
What are these two talking about? There's a boy with a school bag. Did he come to the art gallery by himself?
She even quit her job in order to run this museum. I don't really get it.
Perhaps one of his parents knows the curator? Mr. Shields, I can't find the temperature control panel.
Ah, right. They keep it where it's hard to find. Just one moment. Huh? It's locked. Makes sense. They wouldn't want the guests changing the temperature themselves.
According to the pamphlet, the Winter Palace has a temperature of 27 degrees Fahrenheit.
Brr! Now that is cold. Uncle Ray's gonna freeze to death. Guess I need to find someone to share body heat with, preferably a beautiful lady. Oh, are you trying to freeze me to death as well with those cold eyes?
Of course not. There are two sculptures displayed here.
These sculptures are replicas of the desserts that vanished 18 years ago. Impressive, huh? These sculptures made of ice?
Yes. My father never got to see these ice sculptures, and now, 18 years later, I'm standing before them.
Miles, sorry to bother you while you're deep in thought. Could you turn this way a little?
Like this?
Yes, like that.
Mr. Shields, you're not.
Say cheese!
Oh, God. Mr. Shields, please don't take pictures of me.
Sorry, my bad. I just wanted to make sure the camera works okay.
That camera looks quite old.
Yeah, well, that's because it's an old-fashioned camera. You know, an instant camera. It automatically develops the photos after shooting. Pretty cool, huh?
Yes, I know. Though I've never used one.
You're quite the know-it-all. You really are the old man's son. Could you move a bit? I want to take some more photos of the room.
His face has taken on an unusually serious expression. He's probably thinking about the IS incident.
Man, I snapped a bunch, and they're already developed, see?
He shoved them in my face before I could reply.
Well, I have one more question for you, Mr. Know-It-All. Do you know what these two sculptures represent?
They're sculptures of Taurus and Gemini from the winter constellations.
Ooh, bingo! Not bad, Miles. That's probably why they call this room the Winter Palace. Uncle Ray is feeling generous today, so I'll give you a copy of this photo, too.
Thanks. Winter Palace photo data jotted down in my organizer. Are these replicas of the constellation desserts that were made 18 years ago?
Yeah, it looks like these two sculptures are also made out of sherbet. Your Uncle Ray's only seen the real sculptures in photos. But these sculptures look like the real deal.
And this was what you wanted to show me?
Yeah, I think your old man would have wanted you to see it as well. I'm sorry, Uncle Ray didn't have the courage to come here alone.
Don't apologize. This was a good opportunity to learn about my father's case.
That means a lot to me. So, you want me to take another commemorative photo?
No thanks. For some reason, a giant block of ice is on display. There's a description written on the surface. Castor and Pollux. Every December, large meteor showers appear in the direction of these two stars.
And so, Mask the Mask.
And then
Those two are being rather noisy and distracting. It can't be helped. I should go look at another exhibit.
Seriously, I seriously hate that. Wait, is that a rock salt lamp? Hold the phone here.
This rock salt lamp is lighting up the constellation chart. I see. Gemini and Taurus are constellations that can be seen in the winter. Since this is the Winter Palace, perhaps that explains the winter constellations made of sherbet. According to the pamphlet, the other palaces are made of crystal. But for the Summer Palace, I think it'd be more fitting if it were made out of shaved ice. Well, no, that would make it exactly the same as this room. There's a boy with a... Okay, yeah. A giant block of ice is being displayed here. It appears to be quite heavy. No, the inside must be hollow. On the surface, there's an image of the stars and a written description. The Pleiades, also known as the Seven Sisters, a star cluster that comprises a part of Taurus. But for all these stars to be grouped together as a cluster, the ways of the ancient people must have been very imprecise.
Alrighty, now that I've got some pictures of this room, let's check out the other palaces. Might as well see them all since we're already here.
I suppose you're right.
Ah!
That yell just now.
It came from the front and patio. Let's go, Miles.
Oh no, it's Larry Butts. April 2nd, 10:30 a.m. Zodiac Art Gallery, Fountain Patio. And Edgeworth is out of breath. There's someone passed out on the floor, and that man there is... Oh shit, it's Gustavia. Larry, what are you doing here? No, I'm getting ahead of myself. What exactly happened here?
Edgy! I saw something that no one should ever have to see. Again!
Again? Again? Larry, calm down. Why is there someone passed out here? I didn't do anything. He just fell down all of a sudden.
This man, he can't be.
Excuse me, but what is the matter here? You can't raise such a ruckus in the museum, boys.
No way. No way. The scent is...
Seems like he's still breathing, but this is a bad situation. Miles, it's not safe here. Get everyone out of here.
Everyone, get away from that room right now. There's poison gas coming out from it. April 2nd, 10:42 a.m. Zodiac Art Gallery, Fountain Patio. Mr. Shields, how's the victim?
It looks like he breathed in a little too much of that poison gas. He's still unconscious. According to the doctor in the ambulance, there are no external injuries or any other wounds. Thanks to our fortunate timing, we were able to save him before he was too far gone. But he's not out of the woods yet. He's currently being treated by a specialist in the infirmary.
I see. Mr. Shields, is he an acquaintance of yours?
Yeah, you could say that. He's Dane Gustavia. He was involved in the IS-7 incident.
The pastry chef? So he was involved in the case 18 years ago.
At least the other guy is doing all right. Is he a friend of yours, Miles?
Yes, you could say that. It is fortunate you were not hurt, Larry.
What? What's you could say that's supposed to mean, Edgy? How could you treat a childhood friend like that? That's just cruel. And also, when I'm dressed like this, I'm called Loris Denim, you know? So don't call me Larry, it's Loris.
This man is Larry Butts. He's nothing but trouble, but he's been one of my best... He's nothing but trouble, but he's been one of my friends since grade school. Some time ago, he awakened to the calling of art and assumed the alias Loris Denum. But a Butts by any other name would smell just as much.
Really? You two are childhood friends? I better report that to your old man, too. I'm sure it will bring him joy. He was always worried about you not being able to make friends. Good for you, Edgy. Aren't you glad to have a bosom buddy like me?
My father was worried about something like that. But anyway, what are you doing in a place like this, Larry?
How many times do I have to tell you, Edgy? I'm Loris.
What are you doing in a place like this?
Yikes! Don't glare at me when you talk.
So are you going to tell me?
Isn't it obvious? I've come here to study art. I'm going to take Mandy on a date here, so I was just doing some scouting beforehand.
Aren't you just using art as an excuse to go on a date?
Not bad, Loris. Maybe you can introduce some pretty girls to me next time. Oh, now you're talking my language, dude.
I think I'm getting a headache.
By the way, Loris, did you notice anything strange when you found the victim? Nah, not really.
Nothing that would make you say, I saw something that no one should ever have to see?
Oh yeah, that! I was just surprised when I saw that old dude fall down out of nowhere like that. I didn't do anything this time for once.
Is that anything to brag about? Oh, hey, there she is.
Visitors, we wish to deeply apologize for the disturbance. I am the curator of this museum. My name is Catherine Hall.
She's also one of the people involved in the IS incident.
Hello there, Ms. Kate.
Monsieur Shields, thank you for your continued assistance.
She was the woman we saw at the reception. So, she's the curator here.
We apologize for the inconvenience, especially since it's the opening day.
No, you don't have to apologize for a thing, Ms. Kate. I almost forgot. Let me introduce you to someone. This is Miles Edgeworth. He's Gregory Edgeworth's son.
Oh, Monsieur Edgeworth.
Wow, I'm liking that animation.
Oh, how wonderful. I meet this son after 18 years. It is an honor to meet you, defense attorney Miles Edgeworth.
Wow, that was amazing. You still got that golden voice, Miss Kate.
Actually, I'm a prosecutor.
Oh, so you are a prosecutor? My most sincere apologies, Monsieur Edgeworth.
This woman is very polite, but slightly odd.
Katie, could I get your autograph right? Katie, could I get your autograph right here, pretty please?
Yes, if you so desire.
Why do you want her autograph?
Hey, don't tell me you don't know who she is. My, you really don't keep up with the entertainment news, do you, Miles?
What? What is this unbearable atmosphere?
She's a superstar actress who's been in tons of musicals and movies. She's a great singer, too.
Currently, I am the curator of this museum. I have already retired from the stage. I finished filming my role for my last movie a few days ago. My co-stars also said that they would come here once I opened the doors. And here you are, Monsieur Artiste. I return this to you. Monsieur Artiste, I return this to you.
Thanks a bunch, Katie. I'll treasure it for the rest of my life. Well, looks like me and Laurie share the same interests.
How old is she at this point? 34, huh? Why is this game making me feel old? Not cool, game. Not cool at all. Not cool to make me feel old, game. So I gathered. Larry, you said you're here to study art. Why don't you practice drawing as well? since you're here at Ms. Hall's Art Museum.
Oh, it would be an honor to have Monsieur Artist sketch our art exhibits.
Oh, I guess even you have some good ideas every now and then, Edgy. I'll do a bit of sketching for Katie here.
Hehe, what an amusing person.
Forgive the disturbance. Incidentally, who was the woman that was with you earlier?
That was Madame Delicia Scones. She is currently assisting in the treatment of Monsieur Gustavia in the infirmary. Even though I said infirmary, since this is an art museum now, it is only provisional. As I am the only staff member working here, I cannot take a leave of my duties for too long.
Delicious scones. I believe we have heard that name before, Mr. Shields.
Yep, looks like the whole gang from the IS-7 incident is here. Well, I doubt that's a coincidence.
Monsieur Shields, Monsieur Edgeworth, would you care for some hot tea?
Oh, Ms. Kate's tea. That takes me back.
Yes, if you would please.
Now I must take my leave. I must explain the situation to the other visitors.
All right, thanks for everything.
This smells like Ceylon tea. I should drink it before it cools. Oh, this Ceylon tea is of very high quality. And this aroma of citrus.
Does wonders for your concentration, right?
Hmm?
Your old man said the same exact... Your old man said the exact same thing 18 years ago. But the saucers back then were chilled. Today they're warm.
Anyway, don't you think this current situation is rather unusual?
You mean how everyone involved in the case 18 years ago is gathered at this museum?
Yes, I'd like to be in charge of this case if at all possible.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir, are you all okay?
Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Shields! I came here as fast as I could when I heard that you were done in by the poison gas.
Oh, my sweet honey Kay. How about a hug after being parted for so long?
No. Jeez, so you're perfectly fine? Can't believe you made us worry so much.
Detective Gumshoe, what is the meaning of bringing Kay here?
I'm sorry, sir. I knew the gas was dangerous, so I tried to stop her. But no matter how much I ran and ran and ran and ran and ran, I couldn't gain any ground.
When it comes to running away, no one is faster than the Yatagarasu.
But you weren't running away from here.
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm all set, sir. I'll start investigating the crime scene. Since there might still be some traces of gas in the room, I'll have to ask everyone to wait here.
Very well, I'm counting on you.
Good luck in there, Flatfoot.
Wow, Gummy's so cool. He's just like a detective.
But that's what he is. Yes, Edgeworth here.
Mr. Edgeworth, it looks like the poison gas is dissipated, sir.
Detective, calmly explain the state of the Autumn Palace.
Yes, sir. I'll start with the exhibits. On the left, there's a statue with two people. Oh, God. And on the right, there's a statue of an animal with two horns.
A statue of two people and a statue of an animal with horns. Isn't that the exact same thing I saw in the Winter Palace just a while ago?
Also, the room is wet with water thanks to the sprinkler system. That also prevented the gas from harming anyone else.
The sprinkler system. Was there a fire in the room?
There are no signs of a fire, and the fire alarm hasn't gone off either, sir. Sprinklers in this museum are the kind that detects both smoke and fire. If it detects smoke, it will send an alert to the security room. I think the poison gas might have set off the alarm in the security room, sir.
Was there anyone in the security room at the time?
The only one working there is the curator. The only one working here is the curator, Miss Catherine Hall, sir. She's been in the reception booth opposite the security room ever since the museum opened.
Did Ms. Hall turn on the sprinklers?
The sprinkler system can only be operated manually from the security room, sir. If it had been automatic, it would have been sprayed water all over the exhibits. Since the system is manual, the situation can be examined and the exhibits moved if need be.
I guess there would be more priority over the exhibits than the building. Only at a museum.
Brr, but it's way too cold in this room, sir. Isn't this supposed to be the Autumn Palace? It feels more like the dead of winter in here.
The Autumn Palace is cold?
I checked the thermostat earlier and it was set to 27 degrees Fahrenheit. I couldn't believe it.
Why would the Autumn Palace be set to the same temperature as the Winter Palace?
That's about all I know for now, sir. If I figure out anything else, I'll give you another call.
I see. I'm counting on you, Detective. April 2nd, 11:15 a.m. Zodiac Art Gallery, Fountain Patio.
What did Gummy say?
He said it feels more like winter in the Autumn Palace.
Huh? I don't get it.
I haven't been able to enter the room personally, but it should be possible to look inside after the police have finished investigating.
I'd like to know what it's like in there myself.
Isn't there anyone else who knows about the incident?
There is someone. Miles' friend, right?
Friend?
Though he's such a nuisance, we have no choice but to listen to what he has to say for now.
Wait, you mean...
Oh, you're here too, Kay. You're looking as cute as ever.
Long time no see. It's Larry, isn't it?
Kay, right now my name is Laurice. I'm an artist, that's why.
Ah, so that's your pen name. Laurice, the artist formerly known as Larry.
Wow, you really are a good girl, Kay. Nothing like edgy here.
Larry, I have many things I need to ask you.
What's this? Don't tell me you suspect me again. You're gonna say because I was first on the scene, I must be the culprit, aren't you?
I never said anything like that. I only want you to tell me what you saw. You said you saw something that no one should ever have to see, did you not?
But... now I'm saying I didn't see nothing, and I didn't do nothing. Probably. Oh my, he didn't seem so confident at the end there.
There are somewhat troublesome circumstances surrounding this man. The saying, when something smells, it's usually the butt, still holds true 26 years on. One could say his tendency to attract trouble is legendary. It seems he's done something troublesome without even realizing it himself. I'll just have to try and extract the truth from him. Logic chess? Logic chess! My goal is to expose whatever Larry is hiding. However,
I didn't see nothing. I didn't do nothing.
Larry is an extremely restless and troublesome man. Until he cools down, I'll just wait and see. First, I'll ask him about his goal. This isn't something I can't handle. I'll finish this quickly.
Begin logic chess.
What was your purpose for coming to the art gallery?
What? Are you saying I don't... What? Are you saying I don't... What? Are you saying that I don't belong in an art gallery?
Wait and see.
Hey, if you're not gonna talk, hold that pose so I can paint your portrait. And then I'll scribble all over the portrait I drew of you.
Wait and see. He's still angry.
I was just joking. I would never scribble over my paintings, of course. They're works of art, after all.
I don't think any of your works would qualify as art.
Don't look down on me. There are people who recognize my skills as an artist.
Those people are... There's so many good one-liners in here.
Mandy is my girlfriend, but it's really my painting she fell in love with.
That's why I'll sketch anything my girlfriend likes.
Then why are you here on your own today?
So what? Can't a guy with a girlfriend spend some time alone?
Go spend time with her.
Mandy said she's a Gemini. I thought she'd be happy if I showed her a sketch of it on our next date.
Do you really have that much confidence in the sketch?
Well, I'm not so confident about this one. But I thought she would be happy if I did a sketch of her astrological sign.
I see. That's just like you. To impress Mandy, you came here to see the Gemini sculpture, didn't you?
What? How'd you find out?
Because you just unknowingly told me everything.
Well then, I'm not saying another word from now on.
He's finally decided to remain silent. In that case, I'll be more relentless in my questioning. I'll try to find out what he was doing here at the art gallery. He'll expose his true motives. This shouldn't take long. What did you do in this art gallery?
What's that? What's with that glare? I don't really remember anything. I didn't have a pamphlet, so I just loitered around the fountain patio.
Don't they give you a pamphlet at the reception booth Don't they give you a pamphlet at the reception booth after you pay the admission fee?
Huh? Oh, is that right? So, the admission wasn't free, huh?
Don't tell me. You sneaked in here without paying? Wouldn't that be snuck in here?
I'm sorry! I didn't mean to do anything bad. It's just, there was no one at the reception booth. That's why I thought you could come in here for free.
Miss Hall wasn't at the reception booth?
Yeah, it didn't look like there was anyone on the other side of the desk.
Come to think of it, Gumshoe did say something about that. Miss Hall was busy activating the sprinklers from the security room. Because of the incident, she had to leave the reception booth.
Poor Katie. She went to all that trouble to open up the place. And now, the art gallery's star attraction, the Winter Palace, is completely ruined.
You're certainly well informed about the Winter Palace for someone without a pamphlet. The Winter Palace is where your goal, the Gemini sculpture, is located. You had your sights set on the Winter Palace from the beginning, didn't you?
What? How'd you find me out again? That's right, my goal was to see the Gemini sculpture. From the very beginning, the Winter Palace was the very reason why I came here.
He confessed quite easily. You can never tell anything with this man. Next, I'll ask for further information regarding the Winter Palace. He may still have some fight left in him. I'll watch his reactions and extract the information I need. Larry, did you also enter the Winter Palace?
What's with that look of distrust? Sure, I tried going in, but...
You tried to go in, but you weren't actually able to, right?
Yeah, that's about right. I wanted to go in, but then that old geezer collapsed. I was a little freaked out.
So, you couldn't get in because the victim of the poison gas collapsed?
Yeah, he fell right out of the Winter Palace.
I'm sure the victim emerged from the Autumn Palace.
If it weren't for that poison gas incident, I'd be in there sketching the Gemini sculpture right now.
Larry must have mistaken the Autumn Palace for the Winter Palace. That aside, it seems his goal was to sketch the sculpture. This should be a useful clue. Larry, did you see anything in the Winter Palace?
You're still hung up on that? Didn't I tell you I didn't see anything? I started to think that it wasn't such a good idea to come to the art gallery. I needed to leave soon to meet with my girlfriend.
Perhaps I should try using that clue. You came here to sketch the sculpture for your girlfriend, did you not? I don't think you would give up that easily. Even after the victim collapsed, you could still see inside the room from the outside, right?
Well, I may have gotten a tiny glimpse, but there's no evidence that I saw something scary in there, right?
My, I'm disappointed it turned out to be this simple. Larry, you saw something scary at the crime scene, didn't you?
Ah! Edgy, can you read my mind? In that case, there's no point in keeping any more secrets from you.
You just told me everything of your own accord. That was a complete waste of time, but finally, it's checkmate.
Logic chess complete! I had my eyes fixed on the Gemini sculpture.
You've mentioned the Gemini sculpture many times now, but I don't believe the sculpture you saw was the Gemini one.
What? Was it a mirage then?
Larry mistakenly thought he saw the Winter Palace. This piece of evidence shows what Larry really saw. Take a look at this pamphlet. In the Autumn Palace, the Pisces, Capricorn, Aries, and Aquarius sculptures are displayed. Incidentally, I can confirm that the Gemini sculpture is located in the Winter Palace. Therefore, the sculpture you saw could not have been the Gemini one.
I knew it.
I expected him to be a bit more shocked at the news.
I thought it was kind of strange. I know I saw a single goddess, but that transformation was no mirage.
Transformation, you say?
Oh, you're curious too, Edgy? Well, nothing for it. I guess I'll have to show you.
Show me? What exactly?
I drew a picture of the very scene I saw back then, but I really can't believe what I drew.
Picture? What picture?
This one right here.
What? What is this disturbing picture? Is that sculpture weeping tears of blood?
Laurice! This picture is scary.
Okay, it scared me too. This Gemini sculpture suddenly transformed into a goddess right before my eyes. I couldn't help but scream.
So, the victim collapsing wasn't what surprised him. What do you mean when you say transform?
I don't really understand it myself. The lower half of its body just turned into a fish. The fish goddess? Well, that would be the Pisces sculpture, wouldn't it? In mythology, Pisces represents the fish that a goddess and her son transform into.
Really? So Pisces isn't just a couple of ordinary fish?
Edgy, you don't think that sculpture's cursed, do you? Those tears of blood turned the Gemini sculpture into a fish.
Preposterous. You simply mistook the Pisces sculpture for the Gemini one. Pisces sketched out and jotted down in my organizer.
Oh, you put the sketch in your organizer?
Even a sketch like this can be used as scrap paper, after all.
How could you? But it's strange. Why did only the lower half of the statue transform? Uncle Ray is a bit curious about what went on in the Autumn Palace.
Indeed. I wonder if someone tampered with the Pisces sculpture. Yes, Edgeworth here.
Mr. Edgeworth, we finished searching the room. The poison gas isn't a threat anymore, so you can enter the crime scene.
Right. Good work, Detective. It seems we can enter the Autumn Palace now.
Nice timing, Mr. Detective.
Let's go right now. I want to see the Pisces sculpture.
If Kay's going, I'm going too.
I was planning on bringing him along anyway. Alright then, well, let's proceed to the Autumn Palace.
I just love the way that they want. It's great.
So, this is the Autumn Palace. It certainly does resemble the Winter Palace.
I've been waiting, sir. Huh? Aren't you that hairy butts guy? Wrong. I'm Larice Denham.
Never mind that, Detective. Your report, if you please.
Roger that, sir. We discovered a used gas burner during our investigation. The nozzle was still warm when we found it, so it may be related to the incident.
Was it used to heat something? Used gas burner data jotted down in my organizer. Was that ladder always there on the ground?
It was probably used by the person who set off the poison gas. The poison gas was released when someone lifted the lid off that glass case, sir.
The Pisces sculpture.
Huh? Seems like you know about it, sir. Well then, do you know what the sculpture next to it is? Since we're in the Autumn Palace, it would probably be the Capricorn sculpture.
Oh. Since we're in the autumn... Since we're in the Autumn Palace, it would stand to reason that it was the Capricorn sculpture.
As expected of Mr. Edgeworth, I thought it was Taurus myself. I was thrown off as it was covered by this weird cloth. The fluorescent cloth! I wonder what it's doing here.
Evidence from the I-7 incident. Fluorescent cloth data jotted down in my organizer.
No matter what it is or how it got here. The sculptures in this room are all covered with this fluorescent cloth.
And because they're hidden, it makes me want to see them even more.
Let's take a look. I'll just get this cloth off.
Probably the other two sculptures, then.
Wow, they're beautiful.
I guess that's Aries, then. Oh, I see. It's a goatfish. Yeah, okay, that is Capricorn, then. You don't think the transformation Larry saw was, in fact, the moment the cloth wrapped around the lower half of Pisces fell?
See, Edgy? It wasn't a mirage or a mistake after all. Hey, Miles, there sure is something strange about this room. It looks exactly the same as the Winter Palace we were in just a moment ago.
Yes, I agree. Perhaps the sculptures were hidden to make it look more like the Winter Palace. If you wrap the cloth around the lower half of the Pisces sculpture, it looks like Gemini.
Capricorn is a half-fish too. Hide the lower half and it resembles Taurus. The remaining two, which couldn't be altered with trickery, were covered up.
The Autumn Palace was made to look like the Winter Palace. So it seems, Mr. Shields. Looks like we'll need to conduct an investigation of the Autumn Palace, too. Hold it!
Hold it!
Mr. DeBest and George Courtney. Mr. DeBest and George Why do I keep saying George? Mr. DeBest and Judge Courtney?
Hey, you guys again. This is a problem. You see, this is my crime scene. Mr. Edgeworth, it seems my power is insufficient. If you're here, then it would appear that you still haven't understood my warnings. Furthermore, you know full well your reckless actions will cause trouble for that detective. In the name of the goddess of law, I must pass judgment.
You've got it all wrong, pal. I was the one who asked Mr. Edgeworth to investigate.
Really? Well then, Flatfoot, I'll have to do that.
That?
Yeah, that. Right. Cut your salary. Looking forward to your next payday. I've always wanted to say that.
You're the last person I want cutting my salary, pal.
Hold it, DeBest. I am only cooperating with the police as a witness to this incident. Detective Gumshoe is not to blame.
So that's how it is. Well then, should I be raising his salary?
No, that's not what I meant.
But it would be really nice to get my salary raised.
Your mercy is deeply moving, Sebastian. But past transgressions must lead to future judgment. Prosecutor Edgeworth and all of his company depart at once from this holy site. But that's... We only just got here! The only one given the goddess of law's blessing for this incident was Sebastian.
In other words, Mr. DeBest is the prosecutor in charge of this case.
That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening performance is over. Besides, I've already got my eyes set on the culprit. What? Who, pal? Well, naturally. That artist. Me? Hey! What's going on, Edgy?
Don't ask me. I can't understand his reasoning.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. If you can't understand how the best prosecutor thinks, it simply shows how inculpable you are.
It seems he doesn't know what inculpable even means.
That's right, Sebastian. Prosecutor Edgeworth is quite incapable.
Yes, he's incapable.
She just nonchalantly corrected him.
Don't underestimate my intelligence-gathering skills. I just came from the infirmary and asked the doctor there about the cause of the poison gas.
And what was the cause?
Some normal substance. What was its name again? Hold on a second. I'll call the doctor to make sure.
Since Sebastian is on the phone, I'll answer for him. In that case, why didn't you tell us before he called? The poison gas was caused by the mixing of two different types of chemicals. Their names are normalium and fatalium. So, what are those chemicals exactly? Normalium is a red liquid that's commonly used in everyday products. It can be found in paint and detergent, among other things, but it is not toxic by itself.
So you're saying that it's a substance readily available to anyone?
Yes, but fatalium, on the other hand, is not so easy to obtain. Its name sure sounds dangerous. What's it used for? It is the active ingredient of a white pesticide known as Megatoxin X.
Megatoxin X. Was it called Rock Toxin X in Japan? Is that the original name, Rock Toxin X? Jesus Christ.
Fatalium itself also has a deep white color, but it's not readily sold in stores. It's nearly impossible to obtain domestically. Right now we were looking into how this chemical was obtained.
Poison gas data jotted down in my organizer.
Okay, I finally found out the names of those chemicals.
Judge Courtney has already told us. We don't need to hear it again.
Fine then. I'll cut to the chase. Do you know that normalium from the poison gas is also used in paint, right? Today, out of everyone who visited the art gallery, the only one carrying paint was that artist. You're treating me as the culprit just because of that? I object to the red paint on your palette. I object to the red paint on the palette you're carrying. Hey, Edgy, don't you think this prosecutor is kind of an idiot?
Indeed, although I've only known him for a short time, his logic is always absurd.
Hey, don't ignore me!
It's all right, Sebastian. They're only doing it because they're afraid of you. Like the first star to appear at night shows reasoning that shines the best.
The first star shines best? Not bad. Hey, you guys, better listen up too. Mr. DeBest's shining logic. That artist was the first to discover the victim, so naturally he's the best suspect. The poison gas was caused by normalium, a chemical found in paint, right? As he was carrying paint near the victim, he would have had the best chance. That the paint, along with being the first witness, that pretty much proves he's the culprit. So, what do you think, Justine?
We cannot ignore the possibility. Well then, Mr. Artist, please tell us the truth. Did you leave red paint at the crime scene? Or else, did you cause the poison gas to go off?
The only thing I leave behind is my bond of love with you.
Please watch what you say. My gavel is already prepared to declare you guilty.
Wait, actually, okay, so, wait, we can find out what Edgeworth's age is now. So he's 20, so they're all 26, I guess, because they were all in grade school together. Man, I'm older than Dick Gumshoe at this point. That just makes me feel ancient. Oh, Justine... Courtney is their age too? Why are they all the same age? What the fuck? At least I'm younger than Ray Shields. And Dane Gustavia. Not younger than him. And I'm the exact same age as her, so that's even worse. Please pay no heed to this man's statements.
Hey, you guys! Ignoring my reasoning just because it's flawless won't do you any good. Mr. Edgeworth, if you've already admitted defeat, you should take your leave.
Even though I don't really have time to deal with your ridiculous reasoning. Like, seriously, the one big change I would want them to make in the future, on first pass, let me skip through the testimony, because I've already seen it. You know, just because it's in a different color doesn't mean that it's... Okay, so let's see here now. Even if paint is the cause of the poison gas, that does not mean he is guilty.
Haha! Well then, if the paint is not the cause, that doesn't mean he's innocent either.
You're just trying to sound clever. Mimicking what Mr. Edgeworth says won't make you look cool at all.
Okay, please don't make my statements look bad.
Now then, it's about time to wrap up my shining logic.
It seems he doesn't pay much attention to what other people are saying. There's a clear contradiction in Mr. DeBest's logic.
Why do you even bother making the phone call?
I'll finish this quickly. This is a waste of time. There we go. I had a feeling that was the right answer. Mr. DeBest, your logic is more akin to a shooting star than a shining star.
It shines the best like a shooting star, right?
It may shine brightly for a brief moment, but then it burns itself out. The poison gas originated from inside the glass case of the Pisces sculpture.
Exactly, so that's where the artist set off the gas, right? He used the normalium in his red paint.
As your senior, let me give you one piece of advice. Listen to the explanations of others. The poison gas was caused by mixing both normalium and fatalium together. The normalium contained in the red paint is not enough by itself.
Really? But I thought I heard that normalium caused the fatality.
Don't tell me you just misheard the forensic report.
Darn it!
By the time Larry discovered the victim, the room was already filled with poison gas. It is time for you to realize how incapable you really are.
Hey! What do you mean by incapable?
You tried to use that word earlier and you still don't know what it means? He means to say you are lacking in ability.
Incidentally, inculpable has a completely different meaning.
I get it! You're making fun of me again, aren't you?
I am merely saying you are incapable of it in your investigation.
Before you insult Sebastian, I still have some doubts about your own statement.
What kind of doubts?
For all we know, Mr. Artist could have simply entered the Autumn Palace at an earlier time.
That's...
Moreover, do you have evidence that the red paint is unrelated to the case?
The most important thing now is not the red paint. The red normalium and the white fatalium. Exactly how were these two substances mixed? I believe that is our main concern.
Naturally. It was Sebastian's job to investigate that. Were it not for your interference, we would have found that out by now.
I never intended to interfere. On the contrary, I'd like to cooperate.
Don't tell me you're going to know the cause of the poison gas.
How the poison gas started, I have something that may shed some light on this matter.
Sebastian, do not fall for his book.
Come now, it's fine, really. Let's hear what he's come up with.
If you say so, Sebastian.
Come on, show us! How did the poison gas start? Surely you're not saying that this was the cause of the poison gas?
It seems even you've noticed it.
Duh, it really stands out.
Those red tears that Larry saw were undoubtedly Normalium.
Huh? Wait a second. If those were chemicals, does that mean a ghost set off the poison gas?
I don't have time to play along with them. The red tears of Normalium could not have triggered the poison gas by itself. That red liquid was mixed inside the case to create the poison gas.
What? Just where do you see evidence that the chemicals were mixed?
That can also be seen in the sketch. Here is the evidence. Show evidence that the two chemicals were mixed. A pink liquid can be seen flowing out from under the case of the Pisces sculpture. And this is proof that the two chemicals were mixed.
Hold on a second. I still don't get it. How does this show that Normalium and Fatalium were mixed?
Since we have a self-proclaimed artist here, I'll let him explain. Larry, you fancy yourself an artist, so you should know about mixing paint, right? What do you add to red to make pink?
Don't take me for a fool, Edgy. I'll have you know I graduated from middle school. You add raw white to red to make pink. It's common knowledge. Well, technically there's rose pink, baby pink, and several others.
That's enough. Now do you understand, Mr. DeBest?
Ah, that's how it is. By mixing red Normalium with white Fatalium, you get a pink liquid.
Yes, exactly. Took him long enough.
I see.
It looks like Mr. DeBest finally gets it. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you have merely presented one possibility. Do we really know if the color was the result of the two chemicals mixed together? Furthermore, the sketch was drawn by the suspect. I cannot put much faith into it.
I just painted what I saw. How could that be a lie?
Mr. Artist, I did not permit you to speak.
Ugh, so cold. But that's part of her charm.
Of course, I intend to bring the truth to light immediately.
It would not be wise to jeopardize your position even further. Aren't you going to answer my question from before? How do you know that Mr. Artist did not enter the Autumn Palace? If you cannot prove this, there is no room for you to argue any further.
Hey, couldn't we find that out if we talked to the victim, pal?
The victim, Dame Gustavia, remains unconscious and in critical condition.
Ah, that's right.
Well then, Sebastian will be investigating the crime scene now. All of you, please vacate the premises.
Hold it.
Hold it!
If you were to take a stand in court, you'd cause a lot of trouble for the presiding judge. Is there something you would like to say, Mr. Artist?
Hold your horses, Ms. Cool Beauty.
My name is Justine Courtney. Please don't address me by such a strange title.
Oh, you finally told me your name. Pleased to meet you, Justy. I'm Larice Denum, but you can call me Larice.
Mr. Artist, please get to the point.
I just remembered something I haven't had a chance to say yet. When I first got to this room, it was locked, so I couldn't go in. But then that old dude just suddenly fell through the door.
It would appear that the palace rooms can be locked from the inside. But just because you say it was so doesn't mean the door was locked. Without proof, your statement holds no value.
Well, why not let Uncle Ray prove it for you?
What?
After all, we can confirm the room was locked too. Right, Miles?
Yes, I remember as well.
The Winter Palace should be... Huh? It's locked up. That's odd. They've already opened the museum.
Until the gas outbreak, no one could have entered this room.
Perhaps the suspect entered the room with the victim during the gas outbreak?
As you can see, this man did not inhale any of the gas. If you examine his belongings, you'll find he wasn't carrying a gas mask either.
Is that so? Well then, I have no choice but to agree.
That was easier than I expected. Anyway, I presume this clears up any suspicions surrounding Larry. It seems Mr. DeBest's logic was off once again.
Wahaha! Not exactly. I just didn't have enough information, that's all. Therefore, my reasoning was just before its time.
He sure has a grand way of saying that things didn't work out for him. In that case, there's one more suspect who has yet to take the stand. Mr. Artist, you are free to go.
Huh? But I wanted to talk to you a little more, Justy.
Smack him. Overruled.
Your cold demeanor leaves me mesmerized all the more.
This other suspect is...
A pharmacist by the name of Delicious Scones. It would have been difficult for this artist to obtain the Fatalium for Megatoxin X. But a pharmacist may have knowledge of how to do that. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Sebastian, it would be best if we brought her in quickly.
Best if we brought her quickly? Sounds good. Leave it to me. Hey, Flatfoot, keep up the investigation. Ugh, got it.
Don't tell me. Judge Courtney suspected her from the very beginning.
So Mr. DeBest's logic wasn't any help at all.
Judge Courtney, just what is she thinking?
Holy shit, am I actually going to be able to get through 3 segments this time? Wow, talk about lucky.
April 2nd, 12:05 p.m. Zodiac Art Gallery, Autumn Palace.
She said it would only be a 10-minute recess. They sure are taking an awfully long time.
Ahem, sorry to keep you waiting. Prosecutor DeBest presents Ms. Delicious Scones.
Yesy, you called, so I am here. It is I, Delicious Scones, the pharmacist who makes delicious drugs. But you can call me Ms. Delicious.
And you can call me Mr. DeBestest.
Oi, nice to meet you, bestie.
They've gone straight to nicknames.
Huh? That boy reminds me of someone.
This is Miles Edgeworth. He's Gregory's son.
Yesy, nice to meet you, Miley.
Could you please not call me Miley?
Ha ha ha, meeting Greggy's boy. I guess it's a sign that I'm getting old.
How old is this woman?
Sebastian, isn't there something you'd like to ask Miss Pharmacist?
Oh, right, yeah, Ms. Delicious. Could you tell us the reason why you came to the gallery?
Yesy, I came to see the curator, Katie. I've been friends with her for 18 years, so I visit her quite often. Is it true, Miss Pharmacist, that you also assisted in the treatment of Mr. Gustavia? I guess you could say that, although I only made the antidote for the doctor. Wow, you made the antidote on the spot? Yesy, as long as I have the right ingredients, I can make any drug easily. The infirmary here is well equipped, you see. Instead of sending him to the hospital in critical condition, we treated him right away. I did all I could. The rest depends upon his body's ability to recover.
Do you know the victim, Ms. Delicious?
Yesy, although it's been 18 years since I last saw him. I only knew that he had become a world-famous pastry chef.
Eh? Is the victim that famous?
I heard on the news that he had won a competition for designing desserts.
That reminds me, I do remember him mentioning something about designing study in Zingfa. That reminds me, I do remember him mentioning something about studying design in Zingfa.
Now, let's get down to business. Miss Pharmacist, are you familiar with the drug Megatoxin X? Yesy, it's a drug that's used to kill those things. It's mega effective.
Still wondering if this was Rock Toxin X in Japan.
Because the effects are so potent, it's not available to the general public.
What are those things you're referring to?
It's a drug for vanquishing the creatures that strike fear into the heart of a lady. The ones that often infest kitchens and the like. Ah, I think I know what she's talking about. So, Miss Pharmacist, may I ask you one more thing? Do you know what happens when you mix normalium with fatalium? Yes, see, I know. It's even written on the warning label for Megatoxin X. Hazardous when mixed. When the two drugs are mixed together, a chemical reaction occurs and a gas is released. Inhaling a large amount of this gas can cause breathing difficulties, and even death. From the amount of poison gas Gusty breathed in, I think there was probably at least 500 milliliters of each chemical in the gas.
As expected from a pharmacist, she's very well informed.
Normalium is an adhesive liquid that becomes hot as soon as the heat is applied. It also has a red color and a minty fragrance. Due to its low cost, it's used everywhere. Fatalium is a white, watery liquid. Well, that's enough for now. As expected of a pharmacist, you're very knowledgeable. Yes, see, of course I am. Megatoxin X is one of the chemicals that the company I work for produces. But not just anyone has access to it. It's so potent as a poison that it couldn't be sold to the public after all. Well, thank you. I think that's all I need to hear.
Does Judge Courtney suspect... Does Judge Courtney suspect her? What is she hiding behind that smile?
Oh, Flatfoot? Have you made progress in the investigation or something? Yeah, let me tell you. The glass cases that contain the sculpture can be opened by mechanism in the lid. What strange cases. The temperature in the cases can be lowered down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. The inside of the Pisces case was set at 27 degrees Fahrenheit, so my hand nearly got stuck to the ice. Good thing it didn't. So then, from the lid of the Pisces case, we detected slight traces of normalium. Not bad.
Huh? If the normalium was in a glass case at a temperature of 27 degrees Fahrenheit, then it would have been frozen to the lid.
Really? So, what happened?
Mr. DeBest, why don't we try borrowing the power of K's little thief? I think the circumstances will be easier to understand if we use our Mr. Thief.
So you really want to help me out that much? Fine, I'm not really sure how all this works, but... you, get on with it!
I hate being bossed around by this guy, but to arrive at the truth, I'll do it. Stop acting as you please. The goddess of law has no need of your power.
Don't be such a stick in the mud, Courtney Pie. We have approval of the prosecutor in charge, so what's the problem? Could it be there's something the PIC doesn't want us to find out?
That's none of your concern. If you insist on participating in the investigation, then let me check if you're qualified by asking you a question.
What is she planning?
Who set off the poison gas? If you can answer me that, I'll allow you to work with us.
Well then, Miles, the person who opened the Pisces case and set off the gas. When you think about the circumstances, there's only one person it could have been.
Yes, considering the circumstances, it's clear who it was.
So, please give me your answer. Who set off the poison gas?
That'd be Dane Gustavia himself. There was no one in the Autumn Palace other than the victim, Dane Gustavia. It's hard to believe it could have been anyone but him.
It seems that way. Very well, I'll allow you to participate this time. However, if I feel you are a hindrance, I'll have to ask you to leave.
Understood. But what I don't understand is why the victim opened that case.
So, Mr. Edgeworth, what shall I recreate?
Based on the information we've gathered so far, let's recreate the scene before the gas.
Got it!
Okay, we're gonna see some... Oh, yeah, there we go.
Don't scare me like that!
So, this is the Sir Power of True Thief. So, this is the true power of Sir Thief.
God, even the music kind of sounds like it belongs in Mega Man 7. Let's investigate the Pisces sculpture post-haste. There's frozen normalium on the lid of the Pisces sculpture's glass case.
It's frozen so thick you can't even open the lid.
On the actual glass case, the lid was heavily cracked. It was like someone had it out for the Pisces sculpture, sir.
Do you have any idea how it came to be cracked like this?
Well, the damage didn't seem to have come from outside of the glass case, sir.
I see. So the inside of the case was below freezing point and the case had developed cracks. There are no signs of external damage. From this we can deduce.
Below freezing? Like Mr. Edgeworth's cold stare.
And cracked? Like Mr. Edgeworth's furrowed brow.
Thermal fracturing! The cold glass case was heated from the outside, causing it to crack.
But why did thermal fracturing occur here, and what caused it?
Actually, we have the answer to that, believe it or not. Inside the thermally fractured glass case, there was frozen normalium.
Oh, that face means you've probably thought of something, Miles.
Indeed I have. I know how Mr. Gustavio was able to open the glass case.
What? How can you possibly know something I don't?
I'd say the things he does know are in the minority.
Hey, aren't you going to let me know?
How did Dane Gustavia open the glass case?
Use gas burner, of course.
This gas burner that was found in the Autumn Palace shows signs of recent use. I believe this was the cause of the thermal fracturing in the Pisces sculpture's glass case.
A gas burner? Why would he use something like that?
Ah, I got it. The lid was frozen shut, so he had to use the burner to melt the ice.
Indeed, that is correct.
I just had a late start. I'm still the best, you know.
Late start? You didn't even understand a single thing, did you?
Well, that's just because Mr. Edgeworth's explanation was too hard to follow.
I just realized they're the same age. That's great. They're the same age. Okay, why don't you update the little thief so that he can understand it?
If you say so. Right, let's restart the recreation.
Pew 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 pew. Pew 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 pew. The victim, Dane Gustavia, was the only one to enter the Autumn Palace. If he used the gas burner then, the normalium in the glass case would have melted.
And then?
The melted normalium would have come into contact with the fatalium inside the case. And produced the poison gas. The moment Mr. Gustavio opened the lid, he would have begun to The moment Mr. Gustavio opened the lid, he would have begun to inhale the gas. He managed to drag himself out to the fountain patio just before his strength ran out.
So he inhaled the gas when he opened the lid?
It seems he finally understands.
But why did Mr. Gustavio open the glass case of the Pisces sculpture?
The victim's goal, that I do not yet know.
Perhaps he had the same reason as Uncle Ray. Maybe he actually came to see the Winter Palace, not the Autumn one. Uncle Ray also thought that this was the Winter Palace at first.
Oi, you too, Ray? Actually, I thought so too.
Oh god, I'm back to Australian again.
It looks just like Icy's room from 18 years ago. It's even got the same exact plants in front of the door.
It seems everyone involved with the IS incident made the same mistake. It is imperative that we investigate the real Winter Palace immediately. I should suggest that to Mr. DeBest.
I get it now. Yeah, that's how it was.
Huh? Did you think of something?
The victim committed suicide. He thought he would look refined if he died in an art gallery.
I love this kid. He's great.
Okay, Boomer.
Like, God.
Have you even been listening?
Well, if you're as smart as me, just hearing half of the story will be enough.
Sebastian, I'll explain it from the top later.
Top? That means best, right? Alright, I'll leave it to you.
Yes, it would indeed be best to let Judge Courtney handle it.
That aside, don't you have some information to inform everyone of?
Ah, I totally forgot.
What are you talking about?
Heh, we did a little checking on that pharmacist. We, meaning me, the best prosecutor's subordinate.
That's not something to brag about.
Shut up, you! Quiet down and listen. Suicide is, off the table for now, yeah. That's because, in short, that pharmacist is the culprit. She set up the gas as a trap.
Heap! No! It's a terrible shame, Ms. Pharmacist. How could one in the profession of saving lives stoop to extinguishing them? Huh? What are you saying? I would never do such a thing.
Mr. DeBest, do you have a basis for these accusations?
Of course. This is my basis. Her pharmacist license. It would permit her to handle Megatoxin X, right?
And its active ingredient, fatalium, was one of the components of the poison gas.
Exactly. That chemical is almost impossible for ordinary people to obtain. But that pharmacist is another story altogether.
It wasn't me. You've got it all wrong.
And that's not all. A bottle of Megatoxin X was found in the victim's pocket. And on the bottle, we found clear fingerprints. Yours.
Heap!
You and the curator took the victim to the infirmary, right? That would have given you the perfect opportunity to plant the bottle on him.
That's... You are the only pharmacist on the premises who could have handled Megatoxin X. Furthermore, as for the curator of this art gallery, you're an acquaintance of hers. You would have had access to the gallery at any time in order to prepare the poison gas trap. But please wait! That Megatoxin X, it was stolen! Trying to lie your way out of this won't go well with me. It's true! Look, I've got the proof right here in my bag!
What is she searching for?
Not this. Not this either.
I remember seeing cloth like that recently.
Ah, here. Please take a look at this.
It's some sort of paper. It's some sort of paper?
What's it say?
April 1st, theft report accepted. Stolen item, Megatoxin X. And this is a theft report acceptance certificate.
What?
Yes, see. Truth is, 1 week ago, my Megatoxin X was stolen. 1 week ago? That means you didn't have it with you today. Yes, see. That bottle you just found is probably the one that was stolen from me. I normally carry that bottle of Megatoxin X in my bag at all times, even though I often forget to keep it locked up. I would never even think about mixing it with Normalium.
But why in the world would you carry such a dangerous substance on your person?
Well, you never know when those things will appear. Those creatures that infest the kitchen, striking fear into the heart of a lady, right? Although if you had a rolled-up newspaper, you could just squash them with one blow.
Justine, what do we do now?
Well then, can we really accept this theft report? Let's ask for confirmation. That should clearly tell us whether or not she's lying.
Right, well then, I'll just call and confirm it.
It looks like Ms. Delicious isn't the culprit.
Indeed, if she really did set up the poison gas as a trap, I don't believe she would do it in the way that incriminates her the most.
So, Miles, who do you think is the culprit?
Predicting the actions of the victim would require a fair amount of advanced planning. And there's only one person here capable of that.
Huh? Uncle Ray would like to know too. Who do you suspect?
I know who I suspect. The one who stole the Megatoxin X and prepared the room in advance was... Yep. It had to be the curator of the Zodiac Art Gallery, Ms. Catherine Howell. However, I still don't have any evidence that she is the criminal yet.
I see. She is...
The way he said that just now sounded like he had been expecting it.
Good job, Miles. As expected from Uncle Ray's future apprentice.
I have no intention of becoming your apprentice.
And I will now announce the results of my verification. I can confirm that her theft report was indeed accepted. Therefore, it's a little too early to come to a decision.
That means your logic was completely faulty.
You're wrong. My real performance is still to come.
Really? And how do you plan to proceed with your investigation?
That's... First, we need to speak with the curator.
And after that?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Sebastian, Mr. Gustavia may have had business in the Winter Palace. I believe we should send an investigator there as well.
Oh, that's good too. Detective Gumshoe, investigate the Winter Palace at once.
Got it, sir.
Justine, let's go talk to the curator.
Yes, let us proceed.
We should go and listen to what Ms. Hall has to say as well. April 2nd, 1:35 p.m. Zodiac Art Gallery, Fountain Patio.
All right, I want you guys to listen to what the curator has to say.
Mr. DeBest, weren't you going to go talk to... Mr. DeBest, weren't you going to go and talk to her yourself?
Nah, that's a job for my subordinates. All I have to do is wait for their report. I'm the best prosecutor, after all.
Such arrogance.
Well, this is anticlimactic. I'm gonna chill for a bit. Huh? What's that in the fountain? Ah!
Wow! There's a dead body in the fountain.
What is the meaning of this?
Huh?
Silence, everyone. Forensics, identify this body at once.
It's terrible, pal!
Please be quiet, detective.
The ice sculptures in the Winter Palace. They've all melted, pal! What?
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 What? What's going on here?
There are 2 victims now.
This is all just like 18 years ago. Once again, the ice sculptures have melted.
Again?
And everyone related to the incident 18 years ago is gathered here now. This is no mere coincidence. Don't you think so, Miles?
Yes. The key to finding the truth of this case lies in the IS-7 incident. And this is what I believe.
That's right. Uncle Ray thinks so too. Looks like it's time once again for Uncle Ray to tell you about the IS-7 incident.
To be continued. Jesus Christ, I've still got plenty of time here. Am I actually going to be able to get through 3 segments tonight? At this rate? Jesus Christ. We're going places, pal. Let's do it. God, but I'm all out of cough drops.
The IS-7 incident 18 years ago. Gregory Edgeworth's last case. Isaac Dour was murdered at the venue of a dessert contest, and his body was discovered in the chocolate treasure chest made by Jeff Master. The victim died from blood loss after being struck in the head with a rock salt lamp. The murder weapon was found hidden inside Delicia's Candy Castle. Then, in the victim's room, where no one had searched yet, all of Dover's sherbet sculptures had melted.
18 years ago. Okay. December 24th, 9:05 p.m. Contest venue, Fountain Patio.
The sculptures in Mr. Dover's room have melted. Due to that, Prosecutor Von Karma immediately drove us away from the scene.
How are we gonna investigate now? And what's with that defense attorney's out? Von Karma's methods are deplorable.
Well, investigating the crime scene is supposed to be the police's job, after all.
But you gotta admit, Von Karma's methods are way out of line. Defense attorneys and the police should work together to discover the truth.
Raymond, you must realize that not everyone shares the same views as us. Should one expose the truth for the sake of justice, or simply accept things as they appear? Everyone has their own view on what is right and what is wrong.
Even if that means convicting an innocent man?
Both ourselves and the police are only human, and as humans, we all make mistakes. Wowzers, I'm always on the case. It's for this reason that we defense attorneys exist. So that those who are alone and helpless can have an ally on their side.
An ally on their side?
If we cannot investigate, shouldn't we just find some other way to help?
I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I still have much to learn.
You're still young, so you'll have many opportunities to learn.
Right. I'll do my best.
I like how I made him sound more like Zeke when he's kid.
Monsieur Edgeworth and Monsieur Shields, would you like to take a brief... Monsieur Edgeworth and Monsieur Shields, would you like to take a brief respite?
She gonna sing again?
I know it's not much, but please eat these.
Wow, thank you.
Chocolates added to the court record. Let's eat. I appreciate getting some sugar into my system, but these are a little too sweet. And it's a little misshapen, too.
I am terribly sorry. Does it not suit your tastes?
Not at all. It's deliciously sweet.
Hehe. Thank you very much. But making sweets isn't really my forte.
Huh? You made this chocolate cake?
Yes, chocolate is Monsieur Master's favorite food. Preparing his favorite food is also part of my job. But I'm still not that good at it, so I need him to instruct me.
I envy Master Jeff. He gets to eat Kate's handmade sweets whenever he wants.
Dun 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 dun.
Dun. So Raymond was 18 and she was 16. Okay. Dun dun.
Did you say something?
No, it's nothing.
This is so sweet, in more ways than one. Ms. Hall, you seem very dedicated to your work.
Without my work, I wouldn't even have the right to be here.
What do you mean?
When I was a child, I was abandoned. Monsieur Master took me in.
Huh?
One snowy Christmas Eve, I was left on the doorstep of his mansion. I owe Monsieur Master my life. He became like a father to me. And so, to repay his kindness, I want to continue working for him.
Kate, you're incredible.
I've lived a long life, yet that brought tears even to my eyes.
Today, Christmas Eve has finally arrived once more. But it looks like I won't be able to give him the present I prepared. I would do anything, if it meant saving Monsieur Master. If there's any way I could be of service to you, please ask.
Yes, I appreciate that. Well then, do you happen to know anything about the victim, Isaac Dover?
I don't really know much about Monsieur Dour, but I have a photo of the desserts he made for the contest finals.
Wow, they just literally reused that, huh?
This is certainly a splendid piece of work.
Okay, so we got, yeah, Gemini and Taurus. How do they make a goat and a bull look the same anyway? It's just crazy, you know?
Yes, this is exquisite beauty. It's truly a work of art. It's crafted so intricately that you almost forget it's made out of sherbet. It seems Monsieur Master was also fond of Monsieur Dover's work as well.
Wow, these are the Taurus and Gemini constellations.
Do you know a lot about constellations, Raymond?
Of course. There's so much romance in the constellations. For example, take the club, lyre, and arrow held by Gemini here. These come from... Huh? There are no strings on this lyre. Did Mr. Dover make a mistake in the sculpin?
It's hard to think he would make a mistake like that.
Huh? I thought you said you didn't know that much about it.
I just sort of felt that way somehow. It appears she is hiding something from us.
Wow, so she killed Mr. Dover back in the day, and now she's killing other people too.
Miss Hall, did you take this photograph yourself? Yes, I took it with this instant camera. It develops pictures instantly. It's one of my greatest treasures.
Wow, I would love to see it in action.
Hehe. Well then, why don't we take a picture right now?
Yay! Let's have our picture taken, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sure, I don't mind. I'm confident in my hairstyle today. All right, I'm taking the picture. C'est cheese, c'est fromage.
Fromage!
Here, it's developed. A present from me to you, Major Shields.
Wow, thank you so much. That's such a great camera.
It's the only camera in this mansion. Unfortunately, its convenience comes at a cost. There are no negatives. No negatives, huh? Is this the same camera Mr. Master used during the contest? Yes, we're well informed. While he made his desserts, Major Master photographed his work. After that, he took photos of all the other competitors' works. Was he taking photos at the time before the Was he taking photos at the time the body was found? The body was discovered during the judging, was it not? Monsieur Master intended to take photos of everyone's rooms, but after he photographed Gustavia's room, he ran out of film. Monsieur Master asked me to change the film in the camera. It seems the film he prepared in advance wasn't enough. There wasn't enough film? It seems the number of photos he took didn't match up with the amount of film remaining. Well, he told me himself it might have been just a mistake, though. Was it really just a mistake? I retrieved more film from the main building and went back to the fountain patio. And it was then that I heard the sound of something breaking in Monsieur Master's room. Monsieur Master, are you in here? Hey, Laik! Laik! And that's when I found Monsieur Dover's body in Monsieur Master's room. He was so terrible. I was really shaken up. Before I spoke to anyone else, I called the police. This camera, I've kept it with me ever since. I see! If it's all right with you, would you mind lending me your camera and that photo? Sure, I don't mind at all. Here you go. Thank you very much.
I like that bow he does.
Instant camera added to the court record. Dover's sherbet salon added to the court record.
Detective Bad, this is delicious. Is the investigation over already?
He said he had no more use for me and kicked me out. Manny, that meanie. What a rude thing to say. It was probably to ensure that you wouldn't eat any more of the crime scene.
So, Detective Bad, did you get kicked out too?
It seems Von Karma thought I was getting in the way. Won't let me investigate.
Why would he prohibit his own detective from investigating?
But we know just about all there is to know about the crime scene. Right now, he's talking to Gustavia in Dover's room.
Why does he need to speak to Mr. Gustavia?
We heard from Hall that Gustavia was seen entering the victim's room.
Mr. Gustavia? Yes, I saw him entering Dover's room and it seemed like he was trying to avoid being seen. Also, I have no idea of what he did in there.
He is currently under suspicion for melting Dover's sherbet.
That's why did Mr. Gustavia enter that room?
I also have a photo of Dover's room here, if you need it. I'll let you take a look at it.
What? Why would you do that for us?
You still don't get it, kid. I'm saying I want to help you guys in order to discover the truth of this case.
Detective Bad!
Is that all right, Detective Bad? Won't Von Karma chew you out again?
I I have no intention of becoming Von Karma's lapdog. If he won't let me investigate, I'll just do as I like. Getting tied up in stupid rules will only blind you to the truth. Isn't that right, Attorney Edgeworth?
Of course, Detective Bad. I thank you.
This is amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Now we've got Detective Bad on our side.
I don't really get what's going on, but I'm glad you boys are all friends now. I'm grateful that I'm grateful that he'll lend us our... God, why can't I say this? I'm grateful that he'll lend us his strength. Well then, can we see the photos now?
Right. This is the current state of Dover's room.
Wow, the sherbet has completely melted.
The room is drenched in a light blue liquid. We should compare this with the photo Miss Hall took. Did the sherbet melt because the power cord was pulled out?
Yeah, because it was pulled. All of the refrigerated glass cases lost power completely.
Looks like all the power cords were connected to one socket.
You have any idea when this cord was pulled out?
No, it's still under investigation at the moment.
What a waste of beautiful sherbet.
Honestly, had I known it would have ended up like this, I would have eaten even more of the stuff.
Did Mr. Dover's sherbet taste that good?
Oh, yesy. His sherbet was most delicious.
Really? I wish I could have eaten some too.
But there was one piece that was so salty I couldn't eat it. Salty? It's right there in this photo. It was part of that lyre. That's the lyre from the Gemini constellation.
Ah, you snuck a bite from that lyre. That's why the strings are missing.
Fie. I could have never eaten that much. It was way too salty. Delicious testimony added to the court record. One part of the sherbet tasted different. That's rather curious. Did someone other than her also take a bite out of it? Did you notice anything else? Now that you wrong voice. Now that you mention it, I see sherbet sculptures had these strange markings on them. They had 2 letters carved into them. Wait a minute. There. It looks something like this. An alphabet signature? It can't be. I knew it. I just knew that Mr. Dover made this lyre. He isn't one to make mistakes in his sculptures, after all. Ms. Hall, it's been troubling me for a while, but... Do you know something about Mr. Dover? Huh? Why would I know something about Monsieur Dover? You seem quite attached to Mr. Dover's handiwork. That's because his sculptures are such great works of art. No, I believe that his works are very special to you in particular. How do you know that? There's a piece of evidence that we believe belongs to Mr. Dover, and it happens to share a common feature with another piece of evidence. Please show me. I have no idea what you are talking about. Which 2 pieces of evidence share something in common? 2 pieces of evidence that point to Mr. Dover. Let's start presenting the first one. And now the second piece of evidence, which shares a common feature, is...
I like how they made him British for some reason.
Delicia saw 2 letters of the alphabet. They were probably used as Mr. Dover's signature, just as an artist would sign their name on their works. Right? Oi, I remember
God, why do I keep on making her Australian?
Oi, I remember now. Why, his sherbet sculptures had PH carved into them, I'm sure of it.
PH. Those aren't Isaac Dover's initials, though.
No, but we found this seal at the scene of the crime. It had probably fallen out of the late Mr. Dover's pocket. If you had pressed the seal into something, it would mark the letters PH. Also, the very same PH symbol is engraved into this teapot.
The same symbol.
This teapot was made by the sculptor Pierre Hoquet. In other words, this PH is a signature of Pierre Hoquet. Miss Hall, you know about this signature all too well, don't you? Yes, Monsieur Hoquet's works always bears that signature. Since he never shows himself in public, his signature is used to identify his works.
No way. You're saying Pierre Hoquet is...
It seems Detective Bad has also realized Isaac Dover's true identity. To Miss Hall, Mr. Dover was no ordinary pastry chef. That's because his true identity was... That's right. Mr. Dover's true identity was the sculptor Pierre Hoquet.
What? Mr. Dover was a sculptor?
Things like signatures can be faked if you have the original designs. Can you really use that as proof that he was a sculptor?
No, but what's important here is that Ms. Hall thought he was. As for proving his real identity, I'll leave that to the police.
I get it. I'll have the boys check up on it.
As I expected from you, Gregory Edgeworth. You knew Mr. Dover's real identity all along, didn't you? Yes. When I discovered the body, I didn't notice the seal. I knew from that moment that he was Pierre Hoquet, the man I greatly admired. Thinking that this would be his final posthumous work, I couldn't just... Thinking that this would be his final posthumous work, I just couldn't sit still. So, that's why you entered Dover's room. Huh? What did you say? When exactly did you take this photo of Dover's room? That was... Perhaps this was taken during the judging. That's strange. I thought you said the camera ran out of film during the judging. Before Mr. Master entered Dover's room, you were the one in possession of the camera. Wasn't that why you were able to take the photo when you discovered the body? Yes, that's right. The only photos you took with the new film were of Dover's room and the body. If that's the case, a new contradiction comes to light. Another one? The piece of evidence that contradicts the two photos Ms. Hall took is... Is it the camera? That is my instant camera. You've already handed the photos of Dover's room and the body to myself and the police.
That reminds me, didn't you also take a photo of me and Mr. Edgeworth just now?
The film used in the camera can take up to 20 photos. However, this camera only has 3 photos left, which leaves 14 photos unaccounted for. Exactly what were they used to photograph? Please show us all the photos you took. We will be able to discern your actions from these photos. I am so sorry. I have told a terrible lie.
Don't tell me. All the remaining shots are of Isaac Dover's room.
My deepest apologies.
It seems they are all shots of the sculptures from various angles.
So when these were taken, the sculptures had not melted yet. But that means the one who caused them to melt was you?
Yes, I am positive that I melted them. You are positive? I am an aficionado of the sculptor Pierre Hoquet, who is actually Monsieur Dover. Before the authorities could defile his final masterpieces during their investigation, I thought I should preserve them through photographs, hence I entered his room.
In that case, why did all the ice melt?
It's probably because, as I was taking the pictures, I became entranced with his works. It seems that my foot accidentally got caught in the power cord, unplugging it. Accidentally, you say? I did not notice the power cord at the time. I would never have imagined that I would be the cause of those sculptures melting. Could the truth really be that simple? However, I cannot say with certainty that she is lying. I am so sorry I am so sorry to have caused you all so much trouble. As long as you are telling the truth, there's no need to apologize.
That's right. Don't sweat it, Kate.
Thank you very much.
Edgeworth, here, take this picture. Do what you want with it.
Dover Sherbet Salon updated in the court record.
You meddling fool still haven't given up yet, have you? No matter how long you wait, I have no intention of allowing a defense attorney to investigate.
No matter. If we can't investigate, we'll find the truth through some other method.
Always ready with a comeback. Well, do your best. Do try your best.
Excuse me, Monsieur Van Kalma? The truth is, it was I who melted the ice sculptures in Monsieur Dover's room.
What? What's the meaning of this, you clod?
I am truly sorry, both to you and Monsieur Gustavia.
Do not be concerned about me. Sir Von Karma has already recognized that I had no hand in this act.
That reminds me. Why did you enter Mr. Dover's room, Mr. Gustavia?
That was because...
Silence, ignoramus.
You are not to give that attorney the tiniest hint of information. Catherine Hall, you are coming with me. You are under suspicion of being complicit in the murder.
No.
I shall be interrogating you personally. You best prepare yourself.
Very well. Please wait. I still have some questions I want to ask her.
I do not care for your sorry plight in the least.
Her.
I do not care. Bad, Gustavia, and while I'm at it, you as well, Scones. I have plenty of questions for you all.
Understood.
Fie. While I'm at it, he says. The nerve.
So he's literally stealing any way we can investigate.
He just took everyone away with him.
Yes. Even if we stay here, I don't think we'll be able to investigate any further today. Let's take our leave for now. It's already grown rather late. I hope the snow has stopped by now.
Sounds good. I'm starving anyway.
Let's stop somewhere for hamburgers then. Before my stomach joins the chorus. Eat your hamburgers, Raymond. Eat your hamburgers, Raymond.
You can't fight on an empty stomach after all.
We'll need to report back to Mr. Master with our findings first thing tomorrow.
To be continued. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, yeah, I guess we got through 3 sequences here. But I think I will call it quits here. I mean, I guess this is the shortest one I've done so far. I'm kind of surprised by that. But, yeah. So, let's save. Just, like, let it start up to the next bit, and then we'll sign off. December 25th, 10 a.m., Detention Center Visitors Room. Okay, and that has been another session of Back the Log Off. I've been Professor Icepick, signing off. See you next time.